Maybe. Hey guys, it's Brad with College SportsCast, and we are presented by the Fanboys.
Make it.
All right, guys, welcome to
He's
College
in.
SportsCast. I have my man Jason Harrison with me tonight. What's up, Jason?
Man, what's up, Brad? Man, what's up, man? Glad to be back. Man, missed you, man. Missed this dialogue on Tuesday that we normally have,
Yeah,
man.
we missed you last Tuesday.
Man,
I
I
think you were
know.
just getting in, had a busy day, and I think you said you fell asleep early or something. I'm not sure.
Man, listen. I'm gonna make this quick. So we was in Phoenix for the team, right? And we were
Right.
leaving out. We were leaving out Monday morning. I was supposed to get home at midday. Midday. We get to the airport at 4 in the morning, Phoenix time. So it's you know what time it is back home.
Yeah.
So uh we get there and something's wrong with check-in. They're like, we gotta go see the person over at the desk. Okay, so we go over there. Sir, you guys canceled your flight. Canceled our flight. No, wait, now I'm gonna rewind you a couple minutes. We flew, it was a rain delay Thursday. We flew into Dallas, DFW. We had to make a connecting flight. So when we get to Phoenix around 11 p.m. Phoenix time, guess what didn't arrive? Our bags.
New
So we didn't
luggage.
have any bags. So we like, where the bag? The bags stayed in DFW. Okay, come back the next day. So they ended up flying our bags to Arizona and then flying down to Phoenix. And so they said when we didn't show up on that flight with our bags, we was considered no show. So they canceled our flight. Make a long story short, we had to. I flew 4 hours from Phoenix to DC, and then another 2 hours from DC to Little Rock. Didn't get in till about 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, got to work the next day. I'd
Right.
already taken off on Monday, so I'm like, hey, I'm going to get the chance to do what I need to do. I'm getting in midday. I can handle some business. I can do some man stuff. Take care of the vehicle. Do I need to get an oil change? Things of that nature.
Right.
I don't get into about 9, 10. So I get up next morning, go to work like nothing. I still hadn't been asleep because
Right.
I'm fixated. So yeah, that's what happened when I woke up finally. It
Yeah.
was 3 in the morning. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Right. I got you, man.
So yeah,
Guys, so we got Jason with us tonight. Welcome to College Sportscast. I, of course, am at my shop, Bluegrass Brad's. That's what's behind me. We're sponsoring College Sportscast, the Fanboys, and Greenville Sports Media now. So check us out. We're on Google, Facebook, Bluegrass Brad's. And we are going to be doing our news and hot topics segment show with Jason tonight. I'm going to start out with something a little somber today.
man, I just seen it.
I'm going to start out with that. Former Louisville head basketball coach Denny Crum died today, 86 years old. Jason, you played right after, or well, actually, you were still there when the last couple of years that Denny was still coaching, because you graduated in 03. I think his run ended in 01, I believe.
Okay. And we actually played Louisville, but I don't know if he was the coach then. We played.
Well, I'm
Louisville
pretty sure his
sometime.
last year was in 01, so you would have been like a sophomore.
No, I finished in 02.
Oh,
02.
two.
Yeah, I was a junior in 01. And I don't know if my freshman year or probably my freshman year, we played against Louisville at Ole Miss and we won. And I can't remember who's coach now, but
That would have been Denny, I would think,
it might
unless
have
he
been.
was
It might have been.
unless he was out, missed a game or something.
Yeah, it might have been.
But so Denny was the coach at Louisville for 30 years, from 71 to 01.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, listen, a
30
guy,
years.
a guy who had remarkable talent come through Louisville. He really had Louisville rocking. Uh, it's a sad day for college basketball because he was one of the pioneers, along with all the other greats, man, who over the years, helped change the landscape of basketball. Uh, but yeah, man, and I know, being a Kentucky guy, I know you know a lot about Denny Crum.
I do. So, all right. So, I'm going to take it way back with
Okay.
Denny Crum for a few minutes. A lot of people probably don't realize this, but Denny Crum played for John Wooden at UCLA in the 50s.
Whoa, a disciple. Wow.
And most people don't know that, probably. I'd say it was the mid to late 50s when he was there, probably.
Wow.
And he played for John Wooden and later began his coaching career under John Wooden at UCLA.
I'm not one bit surprised about that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, learning from the best, one of the best that the game's ever had as far as coaching wise and stuff. And in 71, he took over the Louisville head coaching job. He won 2 national championships, 1980 and 1986. He went to 6 Final Fours. 6 Final Fours in his career. Won 675 games at Louisville.
Whoa.
Matter of fact, when he reached 500 wins, at the time, he was the second fastest coach to reach 500 wins ever.
So you mean tell me he was there until 01?
Yes. Now,
So I did.
it may have been 2000 was his last year he coached.
Okay, so that means I did play against him. I did, because I remember playing against Louisville.
It was either 2000 or 2001. He was there 30 years and he was hired in 71. So
Wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I have a lot of. Hey, he had a lot of good ball players come through here. A lot of good ball players.
What's up, Spirit Addicts? Glad to see you on. Everything's going good, man. We got Jason back tonight, and we're talking a little bit Denny Crum right now. Yeah, so I just wanted to give Denny his respects. Listen, I grew up a diehard Kentucky fan. Okay, I am never going to sit here and act like when I was growing up that I liked Denny Crum. Okay.
Oh man, don't say that.
Well, listen, I'm not. I will fully admit everything. So I am never going to say that I liked Denny Crum when I was growing up. Okay. There was a huge rivalry between Louisville and Kentucky and Indiana. And all three, you had Bobby Knight, you had Denny Crum, and you had Joe B. Hall, and later Sutton, and Patino, a few other coaches for Kentucky. But, both of those schools had coaches that were winning titles, and years later, when you see the friendship that Denny Crum and Joe B. Hall had, I don't know. You learn to respect a guy.
No doubt. No doubt.
Denny Crum. As much as when I was a kid, I didn't see it or understand, but I mean, he done so much for that program for Louisville, opening the doors to kids that and teaching them, you know, good life habits. I mean, he take you got like Daryl Griffith and Milt Wagner, and I mean there's there's a lot of great players that come through that.
Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne.
Kenny Payne
Yeah.
played.
Who's the head coach now?
Who's the head coach now? Played there from till '89, I believe, is when Kenny Payne graduated. I believe won a national title in '86 with Denny Crum at Louisville. So I just kind of wanted to talk about it. What's your thoughts?
Like I said, man, I can vividly remember the times in which you wanted to go to Louisville during the time he was there. He kept players. He kept players. He did a remarkable job of recruiting and getting those type of guys that to even make it a rivalry.
Never Nervous Purvis. You remember him?
Man, listen, Never Nervous Purvis. He was a top draft pick.
He was. He was the number one pick. I'm pretty sure.
The top draft pick. So he's had and when we say dudes, he's had some dudes.
Oh yeah,
he's had some dudes come through there, man. And,
DJ Wagner is going to UK this year, and everybody in the last 2 or 3 years has known and knows DJ Wagner. Well, there would be no DJ Wagner if you didn't have Milt Wagner.
That's without a shadow of a doubt. Or if you didn't have DeJuan Wagner. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, who's the son of Milt, and DJ is the grandson of Milt. So
it's one of those deals. It's crazy, man. But yeah, like I said, sad day for college basketball. One of the pioneers, one of the guys you can consider one of the all-time greats. Having that much tenure at a school, which is really unheard of these days, it's very, very unheard of. If he was coaching right now, he would be a hot commodity. They would want to pick him out the portal and bring him over to another school because he had discipline. He had players play the right way. Never heard about a whole lot of scandals either. Never heard.
Denny done it the right way. He really did. I mean, he coached that. That's the one thing that I'm going to say that you probably are not going to like. But so one thing I'm going to say is this: after looking back on it and getting older and being able to see stuff, through a different lens to start with, because I'm older. I mean, Denny Crum coached and taught a clean, good program. And when you see what happened in the mid 2000s with some of the Louisville stuff, then you begin to really appreciate Denny Crum a little bit better.
A whole lot better.
A whole lot better. You know what I mean? So
Denny was fortunate enough not to come up during the social media days, the days in which the information was there quickly for these kids. He came up in a time where guys wanted to be coached. Nowadays, some of these kids don't want to be coached. They want to listen to their parents. And so being able to instill his brand of basketball was very key for him. Very key for him, and it worked. And it worked because you can tell about the draft picks that he ended up having out of his own program. He had multiple first-round draft picks, even a top pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, Daryl Griffith, Milt Wagner, Herbert Crook, Kenny Payne, Never Nervous Purvis. I can't remember what was his first name.
If you wouldn't have asked me, I would have told you.
I can't
Like if you,
remember what it was.
if you wouldn't have asked me, I would have told you exactly what his name was. Was it?
I can't remember now.
Man, listen, I can't remember. That's crazy.
I can't remember what his first name was right
It's
now.
crazy
I mean, everybody called him Never Nervous Purvis.
because he was never nervous. Never nervous. He played the right way. Played ball, played the right way, played hard, protected that rim. I mean,
Bradford, you remember Bradford?
I remember Bradford. I remember Bradford.
Yeah,
He had them all. He had them all. Now he had them all.
yeah. Bradford was a tough ball player, man.
He had them all, man. One of those things that, man, like you said, he 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 coached just as long as I've been living, and so
So
he been.
he was 86. He was 86 years old,
Mm,
and I guess one of the last things I'll say is I hope that him and Joe B. Hall are fishing somewhere in heaven up there today. That's what I say.
man, hey, I can, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. That's a good way to go out.
Yep. I mean, honestly, they were the best of friends and good fishing buddies. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So let's get to USC in basketball and talk some basketball news this week.
Mm-hmm.
USC seems to be putting together some well-known players. Let's put it that way.
I was just looking at it, and what's so funny was I was just looking at that and was like, "Wow, man!"
So, and the reason why they're well-known is because their dads are really famous NBA players. So you've got Bronny James, LeBron James Jr. actually, that is now committed to USC. Committed, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days ago now, something like that. And then today, a son of Dennis Rodman,
Seen that, yeah, transfer,
DJ Rodman,
yeah, switched up,
committed to USC as well.
yeah,
So they're making some noise. There's been some whispers that Aaron Bradshaw, I can't speak, might switch from Kentucky to go out there. I really don't think that's true, but USC is definitely making some noise in the basketball world. Now that Bronny James is going to play in LA for a year, which there are some people that's making it out like it's a big deal that he's going to LA. It doesn't surprise me. His dad's in LA. They're a very close-knit family.
no doubt.
That's where I expected Bronny to pick anyway, was USC.
I didn't. I would. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't expect him. I almost thought that he was gonna go to the Ohio State. I really think he strongly considered that because that was a school his dad said if he'd have went to college, that's where he would have went.
Yeah, but that's where dad grew up. Bronny grew up in LA, you know?
And like I say, Bronny's, let's look at it from a business standpoint. He can make just as much money off the court in LA as anybody in America.
And that's what all this is about. I mean, it's NIL money and USC and everything. Clutch Sports, which is his dad's, ties to Clutch Sports and everything. You're in AAU ball. You know the name Clutch Sports. I know you do.
Exactly. And that's what's going on right now. These kids are allowed to have agents now.
Yeah.
Agents are getting ready to rule college basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
For real.
Half of them already have them. I mean,
Exactly. Because they can have them right now. And so with that being said, you can actually see why, like you said, he's an LA kid. He grew up in LA. I wouldn't want to leave. Would you want to leave LA? I wouldn't want to leave LA.
LeBron's been in LA now, what, 5 years or something like that?
Going on. Yes, exactly.
And Bronny's 17 or something. So, I mean, he's grew up in LA,
And that's exactly what I think is a good. Then the top player in the country wanted his He wanted that because you know what that brings. LeBron James is coming to a game. The crowd is
Oh
going to be
yeah,
there. They're going to be
absolutely.
prime
And
time
that's
all
why
the
it's
time.
such a great fit, is because LeBron can go, they can be tight, they can, they can
Yeah,
go to each other's games,
yeah,
they're a
yeah,
close knit family. And
exactly.
that's the reason why. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, Clutch Sports and the NIL and the money that he can make makes sense too.
Makes
But I
all
think a
sense.
whole lot of it has to do with the close knit family and the ties and stuff like that. I think that played a large part in it as well.
That's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
That's a huge part.
All right. So I'm going to move from this to Angel Reese. I noticed I noticed yesterday that Angel Reese posted some pictures, a picture anyway, and said that she has signed an NIL deal to be in the SI swimsuit issue.
What's your take on that? What's your take on that?
Well, my take is this. I mean, what I really wanted to talk about is from everything that I have heard now with that deal in place, Angel Reese is set to make $1.4 million next year in NIL. And next year hadn't even started. Like there's still time to build on that.
Well, I can say this. Coach Malarkey over there is doing a wonderful job of allowing her student athletes to be themselves. And if I'm not mistaken, she's picked up two or three other transfers. They're going to
She
put
has. She picked up the Louisville guard that was the top player for Louisville, transferred in there. I've got that down there. LSU's loading up as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
watch out for LSU. I mean, they lost their guard this past year but I mean, I'm telling you, this girl from Louisville is the real deal. Like she's all American type player.
You see what I'm saying? So, and listen, this is what this rule was for. She has found a way to monetize on her name, image, and likeness. And she's doing it the right way. She's doing it,
I don't I don't have an issue with Angel Reese
man.
posing in a swimsuit for SI. I've I've been I've been having SI in my I subscribed to SI for 30 plus years in my life, okay? I used to wait for the SI swimsuit issue to come out.
everybody. Hey, it's not like and I know you didn't say anything about it. It's not like she's doing a Playboy centerfold. She's
No.
doing
I mean, I'm
SI,
listen.
something that every male, every young woman would love to be. That's
Yeah,
not even
I mean,
if and
there's
but.
nothing wrong with it
There's nothing
whatsoever.
wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. I just can't. I can believe it. I can't believe it. The amount, and she said that she's not in no hurry to go to the WNBA because she's making more money than people in the WNBA right now. She
Oh
she
yeah,
don't
I
need
mean,
to
the WNBA, they don't make that kind of money in the
man, by,
WNBA.
by no means of the stretch of the imagination.
No,
No
I
means.
mean they don't even come close to making that kind of money in the WNBA.
Man,
So, and that's just what's being reported. I mean, she could have more than that. I have no idea, but from what I have seen, she is now scheduled to make 1.4 million next year in NIL deals. And like I said, there's still time. She's added two or three since the end of the season, and I'm sure she's going to add some more. So expect to see Angel Reese probably over $2.5 million next year playing for
that's
LSU.
that is man. That is remarkable. That is
Yeah.
remarkable. That is remarkable. That's all I can say. That is remarkable that a young lady who was a champion has capitalized and done. And I think her teammate as well. I forget her other teammate, Flojo, who's a
Yeah.
rapper. I'm saying her rap name. You know, man, they're really making it
Jackson,
big.
I think,
Yeah,
is her
yeah.
last name.
They're really, really, man, showing, and they're laying a blueprint down on how it can be done, and
Oh, yeah.
and,
Listen,
and it's making the head coach job easy. It's
Well, I mean,
she
listen
gonna
now.
get
Now she's
another.
come in. She's come in and done one hell of a job of letting these kids be themselves at the same time in teaching them how to win
No doubt, no doubt, no
at the
doubt.
same time.
Angela is not a me person. She's I'm gonna go get the rebound. You guys shoot.
Yeah.
She's a throwback player with a little bit of jazz with it. So she is enjoying herself, and it's good to see. It's good to
Yeah.
see. It's good to see.
I just wanted to bring it up. He was on the show with me, so
Yeah, it is.
great job for Angel Reese and LSU. The coach down there, she's killing it. I mean, really, she's killing it.
She's killing. She's doing a wonderful job.
All right. Then I want to get to something that happened yesterday.
Okay.
Coach Bob Huggins. Does that say Bub?
Let me see. Yep, Bub.
That's supposed to say Bob.
It's okay. It is okay.
Coach Bob Huggins, not Bub. I don't know where that Bub comes in there. Yesterday on a radio show, and I don't know if you heard the comments or not, but
I heard old Bob.
but he used the anti-gay term on the radio show, and everybody's been.
I've been killing them all
So,
day. Yeah,
all right, so
day.
I heard the bit, okay, and the radio people were actually kind of having some fun with him and talking about how when they played Xavier, that the fans threw something on the court that you don't normally see on the court, okay? And I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not on the radio. We don't have FDA status or whatever.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. What did they throw at them?
All right, so apparently during the game, one of the Xavier fans actually threw a dildo onto the court.
Well, that kind of changes everything.
Okay. So the radio guys were talking about this story and were kind of jabbing and having a little fun with Coach Huggins, okay? And Coach Huggins made a comment of the Catholic, actually F blank GS.
Yeah.
It was in jest. It was joking. Shouldn't have said it. But they were poking and having a little bit of fun about this incident that actually happened. Apparently, it like flew over top of his shoulder, like it was over him, and like went out onto the court. So, and they were like and having a little fun, and now everybody's acting like Huggins should be fired. And this political world that we live in, politically correct world that we live in, I mean, I grew up in a time when you had George Carlin and Richard Pryor, Red Fox.
Hey, listen, the old greats who didn't hold their tongue. Yes.
I mean, why are we in a world where people just act like they can't, like it just breaks their back if somebody says something? I don't, this wasn't somebody calling somebody something per se. It was more in jest, in a fun picking at him type deal. You know what I mean? Like it was more in a comedic fashion than it was anything else. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. They were the way he was joking about it when he was talking. You basically saying that was Bob Huggins. That's what he did. Because I still haven't heard it. I just read the article or whatnot. But Man, bottom line, you got to be extra careful about what you say. We are
This is
living
true. I
we are
mean,
living in a very, very, and let me watch what I say. Well, I don't have to watch what I say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We're living in a very sensitive world. E- when comedians are ridiculed for being simply comedians,
I know it's crazy.
I mean
What's
you got
crazy is
to
I seen a Dave Chappelle clip yesterday about the same time that this news broke with Bob Huggins. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you right now, what Dave Chappelle said was 10 times worse than
well,
what
well,
Bob Huggins said.
the difference is you pay to hear Dave Chappelle
And
or you
Dave
tuned
Chappelle
in.
more than likely means everything he's saying.
Well, what I'm saying is
He's raw like that.
yeah, you're tuned in to see him say something like that. Just like you're tuned in to hear a soundbite from old Huggy Bear. You're tuned in to hear something. But like I said, we're living in a very, very sensitive world, society that man, everything gets blown out of proportion. Everything is picked up. Listen, Bob Huggins probably has been doing so great this year that we're not going to even talk about it. But the one time he lets a word slip out of his mouth, fire him the whole year. Not alone that he's been graduating players, all his players love him. You know, he shows tough love, but he loves his players. You never
He's
heard
he's
not one person said,
he signed a pretty good transfer class too
you
last
see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think he's one of those coaches is going to come, his tenure is going to come to an end pretty soon, and he's going to let the next generation coach because,
Oh yeah, well, I
listen,
mean, I'm
it
pretty
don't
sure
get
he's
rough.
pushing 70.
You
I'm
see what
pretty
I'm
sure
saying?
Huggy Bear's pushing 70. So
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. It's very unfortunate, but man, you got to because we do so much media training when you get to these schools. We do so many media training deals that you make sure that that we are trained not to say certain things.
I mean, it's a word that people used pretty regularly in the 80s. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
is
Like
a
he was
word.
like
Yeah.
seriously, it was used pretty regularly in the 80s. I mean, I'm not even going to act like it wasn't because it was.
But unfortunately, this isn't the '80s.
I know. It's
So
not the
sad.
80s. I get it,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
just saying if you grew up in that time, I mean, it was like it was
listen,
pretty common
hey,
back then, you know?
listen. That was. I mean, work. We were not in a situation growing up in a society where we were worried about words. The old saying, "Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words
What happened to
never
that?
hurt
I
my
grew up
feelings."
by that.
Come on now, come on man. You know,
I mean,
and you know,
seriously, Jason, didn't you grow up kind of being
I
taught that?
did, I did, I did,
Yeah.
I did. But the difference is, um, and we have this discussion all the time. As parents growing up, what we didn't have, we want it for our kids, right? You want their lives to be so much better than yours that you shelter them from disappointment. And when they start to be disappointed, they don't know how to take the word no, someone getting onto them, because sometimes we're being softer parents. And growing up, and I don't know about your kids, but my oldest son, who's not with us anymore, he was starting to do that, and I'm watching my 8-year-old twins. They're easily influenced, but there's no one keeping them accountable because they think they know it all. They really, hey, I don't believe that. Huh? Let me ask.
Yeah.
Like they have too much information that it dumbs them down. That
Right.
it dumbs them down. And kids, boy, man, let's just call it what it. Kids are softer. There are no more kids
So the
outside.
whole world's sensitive. It's not just kids.
It's
The
not
whole
just
world
kids.
is. Yeah.
But I'm a big proponent of it starts at home. It starts at home. It starts at home. If I'm getting on your kid and I'm trying to make them better, and you come home and say, "Don't worry about your coach. He don't know nothing." Da, da, da. That kid is going to listen to what their parents say because back in the day, any sport, whatever coach say goes. I'm not coming to talk to no
Yeah,
coach about no
absolutely.
playing time. I'm not coming to talk to no coach about this. You got to earn. You earn. He's gonna play the best players. But man, it's just we have a sensitive world. We have kids who don't want to fail, and that's the thing too. That's what I would. Kids don't want to fail. They don't want to fail and be disappointed. They want to get it right every single time. You know how many times
But
we got it wrong?
that's not life. Jason, that's not life. No matter how good you are at something, no matter like you're not going to be good at everything.
Listen, listen.
You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to learn to pick yourself back up.
Exactly. You're exactly right. But here's the thing. Social media seems like there are never any bad days. You can be on social
That's
media.
because that's because you see it in 20-second intervals.
You don't see it 24 hours. You see, you're right. You might see a 20-second, a 30-second, a minute. You
Yeah,
might even see a couple minutes,
right.
but you never really seen. It's
That's
like
because see, I don't know. You remember the TV show Real World?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
the TV show Real World, it taped for like hours, and you would see real like problems and messed up crap. Nowadays, you see a 20-second clip of somebody and it all looks fancy and happy and everybody's great and you know that's all you see anymore. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah. The grind. Like my son, I just text my wife like, "Hey, is Jacob here? I didn't hear him come in because I'm on podcast. He had practice tonight. Yeah, I'm getting him out the house. Like you can't play the video game until the weekend. Like I don't need you on the video. I need for you to be thinking about other things, school,
right,
sports. I mean, and then like I said, I don't know. He doesn't even have to play sports, but it's having him something be involved that he has to have teamwork. You have to be able to work with somebody else. See what I'm saying?
right,
Like everybody's a creator. Hey, everybody's a podcaster. Everybody's doing their own thing
yeah.
at a young age, but they don't understand. Like it takes time.
Well, I
They
mean,
want.
you talking about sports. So, by the way, I've got veteran-owned sportswear, True Victory, up on the screen. You can scan this code. Use our Defan Boys 15% off code. It's right here on the screen. That QR code is scannable, and that is part of College Sportscast and the Fanboys and Greenville Sports Media now. Um, they have some great sportswear there. They're a veteran-owned company, and they have some collections called Stars and Stripes. Um, there's other ones on there. There's ones called Are You True? Check them out. I do have it up on the screen there for you. So I want to let everybody know that that's what that is. But so you were talking about, the in sports, and I was talking about the clips and of 20-second, 30-second intervals and all that. It's even in the like it's even in the sports world nowadays. So if a kid can get a clip of them for 30 seconds or a minute knocking down these two or three amazing shots,
Say it. Say it.
then they post it all over everything, and make it look like they're an all-star because that 30-second clip, you done something amazing or whatever, whether you knock down a shot or whether you hit a home run or threw a football for 55 yards and score a touchdown or whatever it is, you know and what I'm saying is you don't have to. It makes it look like you don't have to put in the work
You,
to do that.
I used to get this all the time, and you gonna laugh. hey, I'm gonna send you when I was in college basketball when I was recruiting. Hey, I got a highlight. Let me see your highlight. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I looked up right next to me. I want to see a whole game. Have you ever seen a bad highlight?
Yeah, I
Have you
know.
have you ever seen a bad highlight? I want to watch because I'm gonna come. I want to come to your game. If I
Right.
see a highlight, I'm gonna come see how you react. And I know for a fact this is what coaches are looking for. Because we talk to them all the time. I want to see how you act when you mess up and you have to come out of the game. I want to see how you act when you miss a shot or you miss a catch. I want to see
When
how
you have
you
2 trips down the floor with turnovers.
turn over. I'm gonna say how do you
You know what I
react?
mean?
Yeah, how are you reacting when people get on to you, and are you giving it back to people? And can you take constructive criticism? Those are the things that you want to see because I don't want to know you when everything's going good because we already know what type of people we deal with when everything's going good. You gotta have a happy person. Let me see you go through some things. Let me see you have a little bit of adversity. How do you react when the adversity in your face? So I always tell them, I don't want to see a highlight. Send me the whole game. Send me the
Yeah.
whole game.
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with. Listen, my sister in the late '80s was a really good basketball player. Okay, and I remember even back then in the late '80s, off of VHS tapes,
Okay.
trying to put together highlight tapes for my sister. Though this was a long time ago when it was not as easy as it is nowadays to do.
Man,
I
I can
mean,
imagine how stop and record and
I mean, it was,
rewinding. Yeah,
yeah, it was something else to try to get together. I mean, highlight tapes back then. All right. And I can remember me and my dad and my sister, Tammy. I mean, we spent probably, I mean, hours and nights trying
trying
to
to
get her,
dub, trying to dub
trying
the
to
tape.
dub, trying to get her
Yeah.
tapes done and done right and stuff, you know. And I think we got together like 2, maybe 15, 20-minute tapes to send out or something, you know.
Now everybody,
Um,
now everybody has. Could you imagine? Watch this. If social media was out back then, and you can actually pay someone to make
I
you a
know
highlight
kids today, they act like, well, I got to find people to get my tape out to. What are you talking about? You have a whole platform, a whole like you have no idea what it's like to really not have people to know about you.
you had to make sure that you were so good that they wrote about you in the newspaper.
Yeah, yeah,
When people had to pick up a paper and read.
and
Now,
that's basically the only way people knew about you
the only way people knew about
was to pick up a newspaper.
you. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly
Yep,
how it was. That's exactly how it was. So
yep.
nowadays, like I heard Austin Rivers
My
say,
sister graduated in '89, so her she actually played varsity ball as an 8th grader. The
oh,
last,
she was a phenom. She was one of those
yeah,
phenoms.
yeah, yeah.
One of those phenoms.
She was good. My sister was real. She when she graduated, she was the all-time leading scorer for the high school.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
She was a dudette. She was a dudette.
she was good. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
She was a
She was
dudette.
good.
Yeah. She can get it. But
She's
like you said, Austin Rivers
she's
even said it. You
back
had to
then. I
be
mean, we're
good.
talking late '80s. She was pretty close to 6 foot, which here in Kentucky, a 6 foot girl. She pretty much dominated in the paint. She had elbows. I can't count how many times that she would cut somebody with her elbows. Man, this was '80s ball. This wasn't like the stuff today.
Yeah.
Today, you got that. You got to give them space and all this other stuff crap that this wasn't like the kind of ball that's played today. What's
Yeah.
that? There's a rule now, and they call it something.
Is it 3 seconds
Kenny,
in the paint? Huh?
no, where you can't be right up on them. You've got to like
Yeah, you gotta give them space.
You got
Got
to
some
give them
space.
like some
Yeah,
space or
yeah.
something.
I
It's
forgot the rule. I'm gonna tell you for this show with what they
Yeah, I
call.
forgot what the name of it is, but man,
It's not. Yeah,
back then you could like put a damn saddle on top of somebody almost. And you just, bam. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
tear Tammy, she
Man,
would tear somebody's head off, man. There is no telling how many cuts and everything else and blood gushing and stuff that
yeah,
she
yeah,
caused when
yeah,
she
yeah.
played ball.
Man, man, I can only imagine. I can
I
only
grew up
imagine.
in a gym, man. I grew up playing ball because she was 4 years older than me. And like I said, she started playing varsity ball in eighth grade. So I was in fourth.
I mean, think about it. When growing up, I mean, you didn't have a whole lot of things to do. It wasn't a whole lot of things to do. You either played sports or you were good in school, or
Yeah.
in our case, hey, you was in the streets. So it was anything that you can do to stay positive. Sports was an outlet. It allowed you to leave your hometown and actually see the world. And so
Yep.
I mean,
By the time I was in third grade, my sister was playing, middle school and varsity ball, and I was in a gym with her
yeah,
half the time. And I
yeah.
grew up in a gym. I mean, that's how I grew up, to be honest with you.
Think about it. That's a way people saw each other.
Yeah.
Everybody would come to the gym. I know Kentucky's a big state, big basketball state, becoming a football state as well now. But it was like meeting. Either you saw at church or you saw them in the gym. You was gonna be in the gym, like you said. You stayed in the gym all the time, and so like, look, you listen. If your sister's good as I think, her games probably was sold out as she got older and older and older. Because
Oh
when you
yeah.
hear about someone, and that was the thing about it, you had to be talked about. It had to be
She
word of
made
mouth.
the, she made the all region team as a freshman.
Yeah. You're gonna talk. Who is this girl? Who is this girl that's good over there? Man, we gotta go see her. And a bunch of people are gonna say,
And
let's
there
go
you
check it out.
go. You get your name in the paper when you're a freshman in high school.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I have a friend, her name is Kelsey Andrews. She was a seventh grader playing varsity. She's one of these phenoms as well. I remember when she was a little
Yeah.
baby. Her daughter, her mom went to watch this. Her mom went to LSU and Alabama for basketball. Her dad played at
Right.
Alabama football, and so she's one of these. I think she tore her knee last year, but she's better. She's already got an offer by LSU and South Carolina, and she's just going to the ninth grade. So she's going to be one of those stories in which they're following her
Right.
around right now. I told her dad, I think 6 years ago, I said, look, this is what's going to happen because her mom was a head coach at a junior college that we was at, but she would practice against girls and whoop them, and she wasn't even in high school yet. And so I was like, y'all got some. Trust me. She was 6'3" and mean.
Yeah.
6'3" and mean. I'm gonna send you her stuff. Uh,
6'3" for a woman is shit. I mean, that's a girl size. I mean, especially if she's just a freshman.
I think now she's a ninth grader. If I'm not mistaken, I think she's a
Yeah.
ninth grader. She's 6'4". Got an offer from everybody in the country. Everybody in the country. I called it 6, 7 years ago.
Like I said, I grew up with girls ball. I love girls basketball. My older sister is the one I've been talking about here tonight. But my younger sister, who was 4 years younger than me, went to this was on a state went to the state and played her senior year in the state tournament. And
Mm,
I mean, she
mm.
wasn't quite as good as my older sister, but she had a good team, and she was a part of a great team the last couple of years. Um, but I grew up around girls ball and stuff all my life, so
Could
I
you
actually
imagine?
I
Could you
actually
imagine?
enjoy, like most dudes, well, not most, but a lot of dudes will say, well, girls' game just ain't the same and blah, blah, blah. But it's not the same. It's actually, if you watch the girls' game,
Hmm.
to me, there are tons more fundamentals of basketball
That ain't no doubt. That ain't no doubt.
in
I
a
actually
girls.
I still plays and tweak them watching the girls because they have to execute certain things.
Yes,
They have to.
that's what I mean.
I know exactly.
If you are a coach, I have coached girls basketball as well, Jason, AAU ball for seventh, eighth, and ninth graders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, you have to be a technical, really good coach
Yeah.
to be a to have a good team and coach girls ball because you you have to be really technical and you have to know what you're doing. Um, you got to actually set screens and run plays and block out. And I mean,
Fundamentals of the game.
it's
You
the
have to be sure.
fundamentals of the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
you actually have to. That's what. Like my older sister, the one I was talking about. I mean, she would tear people's heads off with her elbow. I mean, blocking out. Just blocking out. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and in the guys game, half the time people don't even block out. They just
Jump.
react and go up. They go up and jump for the
Jump.
ball. There is no block out.
It's based on I'm more athletic than you, or I can
Yes,
jump. But in the
I can
girls'
jump
game,
higher or I can jump quicker or
yeah,
whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah, girls' game, they're sealing, they're sitting down, hard posting. I
Yeah,
mean, basic fundamentals.
yeah.
And
It's
then,
actually way more fundamental basketball than anything that you'll see. So, in my
but the
opinion,
game,
anyway.
but the game is involved in where they're scoring, the way they're shooting the ball. They're shooting the ball at a high clip and doing a better job. They're getting more crafty off the bounce. So the girl game is evolving, but they
It is
never
evolving. I'm not going to say
they're
it's the
ne-
same as it
but they're
was 30
never
years
lacking.
ago.
But they're never lacking the core fundamental of the game. They're
Yeah,
never lacking. They're never lacking that.
it has changed. It's not quite the same as it was 30, 40 years ago. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's the same.
Mhm.
It has evolved. The girls' game's evolved. I mean, heck, you got girls now um, that look like some of the South Carolina girls that are 6'7", 6'8".
Dunking. You
You
got
know,
girls that are there's more girls that are
yeah,
dunking now. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right, so I'm going to get to what on the screen now, and that's the Real Fresh channel. We are featured on Sunday nights on the Real Fresh channel here at College Sportscast. And Howie Fresh has got a little commercial that I'm going to play. So here you go, guys.
Hey, I am Hal Fresh here to tell you about the Real Fresh channel. That's right, youtube.com/the Real Fresh channel. We are a network aiming to bringing you various content each and every day, different types of podcasts, different type of content. Anything from college sportcast and fresh takes for some sports. We also got You Want to Do What? We got the Wrestling Corner. We got live stream. Just go over to youtube.com/the Real Fresh channel and hit us up today. Thank you for checking it out. Appreciate your time.
The Real Fresh channel. And here it comes.
All right, guys. There you go. That was Howie Fresh. And check him out on the Real Fresh channel. He is part of our Defend Boys team and helping him out as well as he helps us out. He does a commercial for us on his shows on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So we appreciate Howie and always want to try to get that in, especially when we're doing one of our shows like we are tonight. So I am going to talk about True Victory one more time. True Victory is a veteran-owned, first responder-owned sportswear, and we are getting to offer that to you now for a discount. The Fanboys 15% discount code. There's a couple of All-American baseball and softball players that have their own collection. So Paul Skeens, the LSU pitcher, who is possibly the best pitcher in the land, the best player in the land, might get the Golden Spikes Award this year for the best player in college baseball, has his own collection. Check it out at True Victory. You can scan that code and check out his collection. Also, Wichita State has a softball player by the name of Addison Barnyard, and she is an All-American player. Actually, she's a junior this year, and she already leads Wichita State in home runs ever. Um, and she is an All-American as well, and she has her own collection. So if you are a baseball or softball fan, go to True Victory and check them out. There is one called Are You True collection. There's a Stars and Stripe collection. Again, we're talking about veterans here, veteran owned. So scan that QR code that's up on the screen and purchase something with our code, the Fanboys, 15% off.
Wow.
They got some really cool stuff. I've been posting and
I've
trying
been
to get.
seeing it, man. I got to get caught back up on posting and reposting, but I've been seeing what you've been putting out there too.
Yeah, man, it's something new that we're doing there for them. So getting to offer. So I'm going to switch things up and go to football for just a minute. So there's been a couple of things that have went on. So Auburn lands Michigan State starting QB Thorne in the transfer portal about 4 or 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Michigan State's starting QB. And Auburn, TJ Finley transferred out. They still have Robbie Ashford, but they have brought in Thorne from Michigan State, who was the starter there last year. And I know I seen a list the other day of available transfers, and Thorne was listed as number 10 on that list. And he lands at Auburn. Hugh Freeze was looking for a QB that fits more his scheme. Maybe Thorne is the answer there. For this year, I'm not sure. Robbie Ashford is more of a runner type, dual threat QB type deal, and that's not really what Hugh Freeze does. So I did want to bring that up with you while we were on today, and kind of see if you caught that news. Did you catch?
I caught that news the other day. I think it was about a couple of days ago. I seen it as well. If I know Hugh Freeze will have a package for just about everybody that he can use at the quarterback position. Yes, he's going to have a main quarterback to deliver the passes and the routes that he wants to be thrown, but he's no fool. In the SEC, you have to, and I mean you have to, have something in the toolbox to show when things are not going right. When you need a spark, I guarantee he's going to put that dual quarterback in. He's probably going to use a dual system. He's going to be running both quarterbacks in and out all year until he gets very, very comfortable with one and he lets it go. But he will always have some type of scheme for any defense he's going to see. He's going to be looking to throw a monkey wrench in the defensive coordinator's game plan at all times. Something that you did not prepare for that he will show. I guarantee you that at all.
Yeah, I mean, Freeze has got his work cut out for him this year, I think. The cupboard for Auburn was not very full. You know what I mean? It wasn't completely bare. I'm not going to sit here and act like the cupboard was completely bare, but offensively, they had some guys that are top-notch defense. But offensively, they don't have very many good, top-notch receivers. Their quarterbacks had struggled and been more in that dual quarterback room. That's kind of where their run game the last year or two had not been up to par with Auburn, the way they normally run the ball. the last couple of years, and their offense really had just not been up to par, to be honest with you. So I think Hugh Freeze has got his work cut out for him this first year, at least.
All first-year head coaches,
Yeah,
will have an adjustment to make. Now, which one makes the adjustment quicker? I don't know. But like you said, Hugh Freeze comes into a full rebuilding offensive stage because the offense Auburn ran is not nearly what he will be running.
you're talking about first year coaches. So, all right, I got to bring up Prime for just a second. I know I don't have him on here, but you're talking about having a rebuild. I saw a number like 2 days ago. Okay.
Okay.
And since you're on with me, I got to at least throw it out here and see what your reaction is to this number. Okay. So since August of last year, when the season started, now this is not all since Deion Sanders took over as head coach, because he didn't take over till December, okay? Mid December or something, late December when he took over. Might have been late December. But anyway, so this is since August when the season started. Do you know that, get this number, okay? There are 85 scholarship players on a team, okay? 70 players have transferred from Colorado since August of last year. 70. That's mind-blowing.
Well,
that's mind-blowing, if you ask me.
I don't know how many transferred before Deion.
I don't know either.
I don't know that. So that's very key. But Deion Sanders did say, listen, I'm coming and my bags are packed with help.
I know. And I'm pretty sure that at least 50 of those have transferred out since Deion took over. Okay.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 35 and 35 because you don't
70.
know. Well, you
in less than a calendar year, though,
they
man.
They were 1-10 last year.
I know, but that is an insane number.
But we forget about that. They were 1-10 last year.
That is an insane number, Jason. You have to admit that that's an insane number.
I totally agree with the number. But you got to understand.
I was like, that can't be true. And I read the story again and read that part, and I was like, holy shit.
They were 1-10. 1-10. So think about it. If you're 1-10, the coaching staff got fired. I'm not going to want too many of his players either. You guys,
they started the season last year with 85 players. 70 have turned since August of last year.
He did say, and I quote, "Hey, listen,
that is an astounding number, if you ask me."
Help is on the way. And he had to change the culture.
Holy
come on,
shit.
You 1-10. You're not very good. Bottom line, you're 1-10. You're not very good.
They
1-10.
They could score points. Their offense was terrible.
Well, okay. How many scholarships do you waste on offense?
Well, I mean, you got 85. It's usually 40. It's close, 40, 45, 42, 43.
So obviously those 20 to 25 kids who are your starters on the offense, whoever the offensive line was first and second string, they were not good enough. They were not good enough. But
you got somewhere between 42, 41, 42 players on each side because you got a kicker or two on there.
Yeah, you're right. But you wouldn't see this happen if the transfer rules weren't what what they were. You wouldn't see this happen. You wouldn't see this
That's
happen.
an amazing number, though, man. I mean, just an amazing number.
It's the Dion effect. It's the Dion effect.
I can't, like, holy cow. I was like, I had to read it twice, man. Seriously. All right. So in the past week, there was also some news that come out, and this one we all thought it was pretty much set anyway, because the SEC announced that they would be back into the SEC, but it wasn't exactly over until about 4 or 5 days ago, and the Big 12 actually released Oklahoma and Texas. And now it's official and set that Oklahoma and Texas will join the SEC July 1st, 2024.
Man, this all I can say is the TV deal, the deals for the SEC. Man, that number's gonna be so high. That number is gonna be in the billions. Oklahoma and Texas. Come on now. Oklahoma and Texas. And you got
Why?
Texas and you oh my goodness, man. That's what to say go, the rich get richer. The SEC just got richer. You got
Oh,
Oklahoma
absolutely.
money
I
coming, you
mean,
got Texas money. So let me ask you a question. What does Texas, I think I asked you that before. What do they do with the Longhorn Network? Do they keep it? They gotta be able to keep it, right?
no, they won't. They won't be able to keep it in the SEC.
So the SEC is gonna buy them out?
Something will happen. I don't know exactly what will happen,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
won't be able to keep their own network in the SEC because the SEC money is evenly split with all its members. That's when you come into the SEC, you agree to those terms.
Mm.
So Texas has had to already agree to those terms.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I would love to look at those papers. Look at that document. Read that fine print.
you know, so something will happen. I don't know if they will. I mean, maybe they get their own branch off the SEC network or something. I mean, I'm not saying that, as far as covering their school, but I don't know why they would need it because they're going to split the money and be on SEC network anyway. I don't understand why they would need it now, not joining the SEC. I mean, when they were in the Big 12 and half the Big 12 games weren't on TV and they wanted to create their own network, I get it.
Man, look, that's one of those things that I mean, when I don't know, man, you got to see. It's gonna be very interesting, man. Like I'm still excited. You see, when I'm reading this at the bottom, it's like, oh, Oklahoma, Texas, they just get a release. They didn't have to. They didn't have to pay a penalty, anything like that.
The now
That was a talk before.
originally they were into 2025, so they are letting them go a year earlier than what.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They were under contract till 2025. And originally there was talk that they would have to, buy that year out if they wanted to. But when I seen this press release the other day, and I could be wrong, I didn't maybe read the fine print or all the way down to the bottom or something, but I did not see where they were having to buy their way out of that contract. It said that the Big 12 released them.
Big 12
is what it said.
Wow. That's man.
So they're going to play 1 year in this 14-team Big 12.
So let me ask you a question too. So does Does baseball play in the SEC? Softball play in the SEC? They start in the SEC since they're playing in 2024, right?
They'll start after July 1st of 2024. Everything will be SEC.
You said
Softball, baseball.
okay. I'm thinking since they were you right because they're going into July. I'm not even thinking. I'm
Yeah,
not even
it'll
thinking.
be so like for basketball, it won't be to the 2024-2025 season.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I'm thinking about the sports that are going to the summer and things
Yeah,
like that, like softball and baseball. But they've already been started.
right.
Well, yeah, yeah. I got you. Got you.
Like so next year's baseball season, which will end like at the June of 2024, will
So
still be
yeah,
it's July 1st of
24.
2024 is when they'll officially be an SEC member.
Wow, wow. Just the thought of it, man. I'm just thinking about all the weekends, how expensive it would be on the weekend to catch one of these games. Every game in the SEC will be like a homecoming game. They're going to be packed, man. They're going to be packed.
Yeah.
Got to make plans early. I mean, a
Hey,
home game, a home
the
game.
SEC just got tougher in nearly every sport.
ev-
And I'm not talking about just football and stuff. So, I mean, the
ev-
SEC just got tougher in every sport. Oklahoma has probably the best women's softball team in the country. Okay. Um, you know, you look at women's
what
basketball, you
wasn't the
look at
40? I just seen a 40-game winning streak the other day. Oklahoma softball team.
softball.
So,
Their
something like that.
softball team's the
Something like
best
that.
team in the country.
That's what I'm saying.
You
You
know,
just said it. I just seen it the other day. You're exactly
yeah,
right. It's like,
right.
man, each sport, and you talking about track and field, you talking about golf, you talking about every sports, swimming, every
I don't care. I
sport.
don't care what you're talking about. Every sport is going to get a huge bump, and it's going to be a tough opponent and tough game added. Um, the SEC just got. I mean,
Dangerous, dangerous.
yeah.
Number one league in the country. Now they might have to battle.
The Big Ten is in 2024 is also adding USC and UCLA. So they're trying to compete. I
yeah, yeah.
still don't think that they will be quite as good as the SEC overall. Is there going to be one or two sports that they probably will compete in? Probably. I don't think overall when you look at all the sports that
Man,
that it'll be. I think the
ooh,
SEC will have them myself, but
I can't even imagine. Man. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. That is breaking news. That is breaking. So right now, I know right now, 2024, 2025, I would be a fan of the SEC. I would try to go to as many games as I can during the 24. I'm going to make because it's going to be worth it from any sport, especially football, basketball.
yep.
Man, man. Hey, watch this. Can you imagine Chris Beard playing against Texas? Going back to Texas? Oh my
Oh, I
goodness.
know.
Oh my
It's going
goodness.
to be there. I mean, surely he'll still be at Ole Miss. So I mean,
Yeah,
and they're going to have to play each other. Ole Miss and
that's what I'm
Texas.
saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Just the storylines of it. Like, it's
Yep.
it's 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 it's, it's gonna be a good SEC. That's gonna be like the
I
old
believe I
SEC.
believe that was one of the attractions for Chris Beard to go to Ole Miss, because there probably wasn't a lot of teams knocking down his door anyway. But I'm sure he had some opportunities, and Ole Miss being in the SEC, I'm sure, meant a little bit something more.
I can honestly say that those guys over there who are at Ole Miss right now are working. I'm talking about really working. They're getting as many players as they can in there, and they're going to
Yeah,
change that culture. And I do know Chris Beard. I do know the people on the staff. Those guys will turn it around. They will put the players in there they will get the players in there to get it done. They will do that. They will do that. So that's something that, man, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting for Chris Beard and company. I think they get it done. I've seen him do this at ULR. He did it in a year. I've seen him do it at Texas Tech in 2 years.
Oh, they'll get it
And
done. I don't
yeah,
know if he'll get done this coming year, but they'll get it done. I have much confidence. I mean, he'll definitely turn it around. I mean, are we talking they're going to be 34-2 in 2 years? Probably
no,
not.
we're not
But
saying that. No.
he'll get them turned around and in the right direction and pushing for an NCAA tournament bid pretty soon. I would think.
Yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. Yeah, I'm talking about they might be pushing the NCAA next year because
Yeah.
he's signing some guys. He getting some
Right.
guys in there, and he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
play his brand of basketball. So it's gonna be very
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure he will. So on the screen now, I have our College Sportscast official merch page. You can scan that QR code, and it will take you to our shop. We have about 10 or 12 different shirts. You can buy our official logo shirt, like the one that is showing up on the screen. You can also buy a softball shirt, a basketball shirt, some shirts, baseball, volleyball, soccer. Um, so they're all College Sportscast shirts with a different theme for different sports. So check them out. While you're on here with us, use the Watch CS Cast code for a 15% discount. I don't put it on the screen. I don't talk about it on social media. I only do it right here on College Sportscast when you are watching and have the logo up. And it is a special deal for you to either watch live or watch in replay and to be able to use this code. So Watch CS Cast is a 15% discount. And if you are watching, then you can use that code and get you a little bit of a discount off of our merchandise for you guys. So I wanted to get that up. Also wanted to mention this while we're talking a bunch of SEC stuff and stuff tonight. So tonight, the SEC softball tournament begins.
Whoa.
The baseball tournament's 2 weeks away, but the softball tournament begins tonight. The top seeds are Tennessee, Georgia, Auburn, and Arkansas. That's the top 4 seeds in the softball tournament. LSU is right there, I think, at number 5. You have Florida, who possibly has the best player in the country, playing for them. She is a beast, left-handed hitter. She's a beast, and check them out. But LSU and Florida are maybe a couple of teams that could surprise that's not in that top 4. And I've got the top 4 listed there for you guys. The number 1 seed is Tennessee. The number 2 seed in the SEC tournament is Georgia. The number 3 seed is the Auburn Tigers. And the number 4 seed is the Arkansas Razorbacks. So Lady Hogs. So that's your top 4 seeds. The tournament begins tonight. Now, tonight is basically some play-in games. Teams, let me get this right. 9, 10, 11, and 12 play each other. The bottom 2 teams don't even get to play in the SEC baseball and softball tournament. But the bottom, 9 through 12 play each other. And then the winner of those games tonight will then move on and advance to play in the top 10 teams series. So it's a double elimination series after tonight.
Wow.
I know Mississippi State was playing earlier on the softball. trying to maybe get you an update on the score while we were on.
Might be able to get it. Let's see. So,
It was Missouri, Mississippi State. Missouri won the play-in game, 3-1.
okay.
So I know that game is in the books. So like I said, that's a play-in game for the SEC tournament. So that was the opening game. Missouri will advance, Mississippi State will not. And this weekend coming up will be the SEC softball tournament. And like I said, those are the top teams, and I give you a couple of teams to kind of look for. You got Florida with one of the best players in the nation, and LSU, I think, is number 5 on that list there. And, you know, they might have a chance to maybe make some noise in the SEC tournament as well. So just to give you a little bit of update, we don't talk a whole lot of softball on here, but it is tournament time now for softball. And we'll see how many teams make the, region World Series and all that kind of stuff for softball. Thought I'd get that in while we were on. Again, I've got our College SportsCast official merch page up. Scan that code. Use our code CSCast for a 15% discount. So if you're watching here with us, you can use that code and get a 15% discount on anything that you may buy. A couple of mugs as well on there as some shirts, and we've got hoodie and sweatshirt and stuff like that. It's just the wrong time of year for that kind of stuff. It is for me. It is for me, but a lot of these darn kids anymore, they wear hoodies all year round.
Year round, man. Year round. We was in Phoenix. I had a kid wear red.
I don't know how they do it. How do they do it, Jason? I burn up. Like, how do they wear hoodies?
Man, the more you try to figure these kids out, the more you figure out, man, the weirder is the better thing to be in the.
I don't understand it. It'll be like last summer. I remember I was out, okay, and I run an event trailer, and like it was smoldering freaking hot. I mean, it was heat index was like 110, 112 that day, and this kid comes up to my trailer in a hoodie and a sweatsuit outfit, hoodie. And I'm like, I didn't say nothing to the kid. I mean, he was a, 16, 17-year-old kid probably. And I'm like, how in my head, I'm like, how in the hell are you surviving in that?
I mean, listen, he probably ain't got no shirt up underneath. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, and I'd be sweating through the entire hoodie.
I mean, it was like 112 heat index, and he's all decked out in a.
But he probably had on shorts though, right?
Yeah, I think he had on shorts. Yeah.
You see that's their cool thing, hoodies and shorts. So,
I just
give me a t-shirt. Give me a t-shirt and some shorts. Let's go. Or give me some, some nice light pants, in the summer.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't get it, man.
Hey, I'm not even gonna try to get it because.
But here's the
they
deal:
said we was,
if you want that hoodie, even though it's summertime, go ahead and get you a hoodie. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yes, we don't care when you wear it. Just go to wear it.
I don't care. I mean, I couldn't do it. I sweat too much, man. There's just no way. If I tried to wear a hoodie when it was that hot, it would be drenched. Like it would be stuck to me.
No doubt.
I'm not even playing. There's just no way if it was that hot.
I get hot taking out the trash, let alone walking around in 100-degree weather.
with a hoodie on.
The hoodie.
And I mean, he had the hoodie up too, walking around, and I'm like, golly, man, how you do that?
Man.
How you
You're
do
exactly
that,
right.
man?
You're exactly right.
I'm serious. I was like, wow, I don't understand. I would smother to death. All right, guys, I'm going to start kind of wrapping things up. We are College SportsCast, of course. You can catch us on Tuesday and Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time, and Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Time. We are now on WSBN TV. So you can catch College Sportscast on Channel 30 on WSBN TV. And how you do this, it's a streaming service TV. How you do this is you download the BoxCast app. Once you download the BoxCast app on Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick, you can actually find WSBN TV, World Sports Broadcasting Network. Once you find WSBN TV, look us up, Channel 30. There will be. All you got to do is download that BoxCast app, and you can find us on Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick, and in countries. You can find us on other things. I can't think the name of it right now, but we are in lots of different countries on this WSBN TV as well. So. Make sure that if you are looking a place to help or give for 2023, Home for Our Troops is where we are asking people to help and to give. They build homes for injured and wounded vets, and they've been doing it for over 20 plus years. And kind of goes with our True Victory veteran-owned program that we are asking people to shop and be a part of. This Home for Our Troops is helping vets who have been injured and wounded, and they are rebuilding lives by building them homes, and they'll do that anywhere in the country. For every dollar that you give, 20 cents of that dollar goes towards building them houses. So you can give to them at hfotusa.org. Jason, man, it's been fun. I appreciate you being on with me. We always talk a little bit of stuff and have a little bit of fun, a little blast about some different stuff. We don't always agree on the same things, but that's
we agree to disagree. We agree to disagree. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. If the world would do the same thing, the world would be a better place.
And that's for sure. That's absolute for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with that one. The whole world would be a better place for sure.
Everybody has their own.
All right, man. We will see you guys on night. It is on Thursday night. It's Tuesday night, Brad.
Man, one of them days.
We will see you guys on Thursday night at 8:00 Central Time. Thanks for joining College Sportscast, and we will see you Thursday. Good night.